Hey guys, so in this video, I wanted to do a homeschool room tour. And the way I want to do it is with still photography, um, mostly because my family's asleep and I film a lot of these videos like super early in the morning um, because that's when my kids aren't asleep and aren't like, or that's when my kids are asleep and aren't like on top of me needing things. So I just have some pictures off to the side here. Forgive me. So we've like recently kind of redone some things in our homeschool room. We do use our dining room primarily. If you look at some older videos, we have some homeschool room tours of our basement homeschool room, which is phenomenal. However, it's in the basement. So, like, honestly, we don't go down there very much. Or my kids do, I don't. So it's really more for storage of all the stuff we're not using on a daily basis. Our homeschool room is this really big dining room on the main level that's connected to the kitchen and overflows into the breakfast room. And it's open and it's bright and it's sunny. Well, it's actually not as bright as I would like it to be. I have a lot of lamps. So I'm like, it's dark. It has this big window and then it has like three lamps and an overhead light, and it still always feels a little bit subdued. I think I painted it too dark, but I really love the colors, so I'm going to be okay with it regardless. So these are some pictures of my children in our homeschool room after we just redid it a little bit. We hung up this really cool like DIY piece that has like these antique doorknobs as like hooks for backpacks because I was getting really frustrated because what we were doing was just shoving all the backpacks under the what we call the homeschool table, which is not our dining room table. It's the little IKEA table off to the side where we lay everything out because my husband, if you watch like the show Clutterbug on YouTube, it's like all the different organizing styles. My husband is, I think, she categorizes it as like a B or something. They need to be able to see everything or they forget it exists, which is really frustrating because I like to put everything away, organized in very small categories behind closed doors so that no one sees anything. So we organize to his style because otherwise my things won't ever get put away. So in our homeschool room, we have lots of different components. We have carts and we have the table and we have the game school tower, and then we have a cabinet. And those are the main components of our homeschool room. We have lots of homeschool storage other places. I'm sitting in my office and we have a homeschool cart over here. I have an alarm going off for no reason. We have a homeschool cart over here. We have a bookshelf over here with homeschool stuff. This whole cabinet has like papers and a whole bunch of stuff. And then I've got a closet over there, and that's got a bunch of homeschool stuff. If you're a homeschooling family and you've been doing this for a while, you either are a minimalist or you're us and you have everything everywhere, and every room is a homeschool room. So let's get in detail about this one space in our house. Okay, so on one side, let's call it the right-hand side of the room, we have the game school tower, a little reading chair, and our homeschool cabinet. So our homeschool cabinet is all the stuff that isn't daily stuff, but it's like seasonal. It's stuff we're going to be using in this season. And then all the stuff that we're probably not even using this year is downstairs in the basement homeschool room or in the closet over here put away. So this cabinet is quicker access, but because it's behind closed doors, my husband won't go in there if he doesn't absolutely have to. So let's kind of get into some of the things that are just kind of sitting out. So some of the things I really love, we have a really pretty globe from Target. It's that black globe on the top there. We have a spinner from IKEA that we use all the time. It, I think, only goes up to like 24, which is great because that lines up with classical conversations and we can do, quiz games with the spinner. And then we have like our little, we have a little cup over there that usually has an American flag, but I think my daughter took it out because for Memorial Day she had a lemonade stand and she had like American flags all over the place. So she like culled all the American flags from the house and put them on this lemonade stand. So I'm noticing just now that my American flag is missing from the schoolroom, so that needs to go back because it's just not a schoolroom without an American flag, right? Anywho, then we have the game school tower, which I won't get into great detail because that's a whole long video all on its own because we have so many games. And I actually have a ridiculous number of them put away in storage in other places because there used to be more out. So we rotate them through, and I wanted a little bit cleaner look, so I cleaned off the top and just put a couple things out there. I put a couple decor things out there, and then things like a organizer bin showed up, a car from my son showed up, the tractor I put up there because it's adorable and antique, and then like random books get laid down and stuff like that. So it collects junk because I cleared it off. So why wouldn't it? But game school stuff is super important. All of our like flashcards and Life of Fred for some reason lives in our game school cabinet. I don't know why. But flashcards and little manipulatives and games and all that good stuff, all the fun stuff goes in that tower. And I have to reorganize it all the time because it's a lot of stuff and it's a lot of like little stuff, but luckily they're in boxes, so they line up real neat. Then we have the actual game school cabinet, which I will go into detail on in the next slide. So our most important stuff in the game school cabinet are not the game school cabinet, and the homeschool cabinet are on the top row because that's head height. It's very easy to see. It's too tall for the kids, but it's appropriately heighted for my husband and myself. Even though my husband's a shorty, he can still see this one pretty well. It's not super tall. So moving from left to right, and I've had this organized lots of different ways in the past. I used to have like all the history books on the top row, and then like math, and then language arts, and like I had them in different sections like that. I'm not doing it as crazy because we have the carts and the table, and because I realized like if I put it in the cabinet, my husband won't pull it out, so I have to rotate things out. So up here, first off, on the like sides, I really like how deep this cabinet is because I can save all of our like placemat poster size things that are that like 11 by 17 size along the side because it's nice and deep. So that's a win. But our first little magazine, I organized it all with magazine caddies, either in black or in that like natural cardboardy look. And the first one has our extra math. So the Beast Academy levels that we haven't gotten to yet, the geometry, she has like an extra like 6th to 8th grade geometry workbook. She really likes geometry, so that's just a fun one. And then she has like high school geometry that was mine when I was in high school, that we pull out sometimes for like tests, quizzes, stuff like that. It's fun. And then she's got some like Algebra 1 stuff in there. We're not using those as a curriculum yet. We're just pulling them out occasionally because we're trying to figure out like where she's at. She's a weird kid when it comes to math. She's very good at math, but at the same time, if her brain isn't actively switched on, she's like 7 plus 1. What is 7 plus 1? And like just worthless. It's like, I love you, sweetheart. Turn your brain on. And then like other times, long stream equation, like it's 42. It's like, okay, give me the next 10 minutes and let me figure out what it is. It was 42. It was 42. So hot and cold. But anyways, we have extra math stuff there. Then because we're currently over the summer doing like Age of Exploration and the Renaissance and that sort of stuff. We still have some like holdover Renaissance stuff, and then we're moving into the Americas. So the goal for this summer is to finish this caddy here that has like our famous figures from the Renaissance and all these extra kind of like referencey, pull out, read aloud books for the Renaissance. And then my husband's really looking forward to doing the world of Christopher Columbus. We did um, Augustus Caesar's world, and we loved it. And my husband left it outside when it was raining and trashed it. And now we have to buy a new copy. So I'm on the lookout for that. I will buy it eventually, but I probably won't buy it till this time next year when we start cycle 1 again. Anywho, we're going to start the world of Christopher Columbus, and that'll be very fun. That's more of a longer read aloud textbook style thing. And we also have Delaire's North Smiths. We were supposed to do that this time last year, and we didn't because we just had so much stuff. So I'm going to throw it in with the Age of Exploration stuff, even though it's totally not appropriate. We're just going to do it anyways. It's like, oh, we're talking about the Americas, right? So we should talk about Leif Erikson. This will work. So that's the first part, and you kind of see a little bit of some other stuff in that top left-hand corner, but I'm going to get into that in a sec. So next we have like our actual read alouds that we're going to be using next year. We're going to be trying to get through Story of the World 3 and 4 in 1 year, which will be good. Easy because those are quick reads. I did a chapter or 2 in the car the other day. It was nothing. I love Story of the World, but it's one of those things where it's like you listen to it over and over and over again, or you read it over and over and over again until it sticks. So we've got those. We also have the workbooks. I almost never pull out the workbooks because they're very like, here are some crafts you could do. And I'm like, I'm not going to do crafts. So, which is sad for my daughter. I went to art school. You would think I would do crafts. I don't do crafts. They make a mess. Then we have the Who Was books. So we actually have like 150 Who Was books. But so we're bringing them up in chunks so that we don't have an entire cabinet full of them and get overwhelmed. So we're bringing up like, 10, 15 at a time. Just be like, these are the ones we're going to read now. When we're done with those, we put them on the top of the steps and they pile up, and then we take them all down. It's a thing. And then we should have read the Flag Code. These little books in the top left-hand corner are our like Constitution and the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights and the American Flag Code. The photo is shiny, so it's hard to see what else is up there. But it's all those documents. And we got them at like, was it George Bush's presidential library? We got them at a presidential library somewhere. So we have all of those. We usually read the Constitution on Constitution Day. We read the Declaration of Independence on the 4th of July. We read Flag Code on Flag Day. We try to have those out all the time so that we actually go through them. My daughter and I have like this, there's a song for the preamble to the Constitution, and it's like, how long can we get into reading the Constitution and still keep up the melody from the song from the preamble? It's like the preamble's 1 sentence long. It's a very long sentence, but it's 1 sentence long. So it has this melody, and then it's like, can you keep it up while the like words get far more complex and the sentences get drier? So it's a nerd game. So that's this part of the shelf. Okay, and I'm realizing I've like repeated a photo, so I'll probably swap that out with something that you won't even be seeing, so you won't know that I repeated a photo. But then we have our U.S. president biographies, and they don't go through all the presidents because that would be a lot of books, and they're hardcover and they're nice. And I got them from libraryandeducationalresources.com. But we have those, and we'll go through those as we go through history. Just like, hey, now we've gotten to this time period. Let's pull out the presidents that were involved in this time period and read them. And then we have these more textbook ones. So we have the Tribal Peoples of the Americas book, which my husband's looking forward to reading. And then we've got America's Providential History, which I got in like a homeschool bundle of books on eBay. And it's very like, God bless America, right? Then we have We the People, the Citizens and Constitution of the United States, which was, I think, my American government class textbook in high school. So we have that. Why do you have your textbooks? Well, because they weren't using it next year, so we got to keep them. So we have those. Will we actually use these whole textbooks? Probably not. My husband will probably flip through and occasionally reference the two really big ones, American's Providential History and the government book. And then he'll probably read all the way through the Tribal Peoples book. Yeah. Okay, so then in the lower shelves of the cabinet, I have my son's stuff. So there's also a little cubicle I didn't show you in there because it has like 4 cubes at the bottom. And I'm not showing you one of them because it's like my daughter's art stuff plus my teacher bin that has like supplies and then like some kind of random stuff shoved in there. So it's not very interesting. In here, we have manipulatives that I don't want my son getting into all the time. So these 2 Latchmate vents, and I do apologize that they're not like beautifully labeled or even a matching set. Like I have a pink box and a pink lid, but a blue insert. Ugh. Because my daughter stole the pink one because it was pink. And I still have like the sticker from the store. I will do labels. It is one of my goals this year to label. I would really like to be one of those kinds of moms that label everything. I probably won't. I would like to. If I do, I will make a video about it. There. I will do it because it will be a video. Yes, this will motivate me. Anyways, so in these boxes that you can't see very well and are not labeled, I have his number blocks on the bottom row. If you have a preschooler and they don't watch Number Blocks, I have no idea what's wrong with you because it's an amazing show. I love it so much. So I have number blocks down there and like an abacus shoved in there. And then the one above that is his language arts bin. And it's got his The Good and the Beautiful, and I bought it used. And I don't have the curriculum. I just have like all the manipulatives from their pre-K program. I don't know. It was on eBay. And it was like, oh, someone already cut everything out and laminated it. And it's just the games. I'll do that. So I have that in there, and then some other pre-K stuff, and like a busy book that I made of a bunch of different, like, here are all the colors. Here are all the numbers. Here are all the numbers, but in dice format. And here are all of the continents and oceans and, things like that. Memorization stuff that you do with preschoolers. So it's got all of that stuff in there. Stuff that we're not stuff I don't have on his cart at the moment. So like I'll switch these boxes out with the cart, with the box that I have on the cart at the moment. And we'll like rotate through different activities. So it's not always the same. He's got his little carrot game that he loves, and a money tray, and then all of the Safari Limited, I think is what they're called. The little figurines that my father-in-law was looking at them one day, and he was like, toy soldiers have really come a long way. I was like, what are you talking about? And I realized my son was playing with like the Revolutionary War toy soldiers that like every single guy was a completely different guy of like a different military rank, and like they're I love the little Safari Limited things. I bought them for my daughter when she was like kindergarten, first, second, and now we have a big collection. We have like all the organs and the different shells and the different fossils and the Egypt set and the different Native American tribes and like all the stuff. And we have them in little organizer boxes. It's very cute. And then my kids inevitably open them all up at once and dump them all out on the floor. And then I'm painstakingly organizing them again. Anyways, so then shoved back there, we also have like his number train sorting puzzle and different puzzles and things. So they're just all kind of shoved into this cabinet because this is the stuff we're not using every day. Hey, you made it to the last part of the video. You made it all the way to the end. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, you probably liked it. So you should like it. You should like and you should subscribe. You should do both of those things. You should like and subscribe. All the clicking of all the buttons. All right. Thank you. See you on the next one. And thank you for watching.